Assalamu alaikum. This is Megan Wyatt answering your question here at About Islam. So, the first thing that I want to tell you, or remind you rather, is that all of the money that you earn Islamically, technically, it is your right to keep. And that you are not responsible for giving it to your husband. Now, in a relationship where you have the husband and the wife both working, they're a dual income household. Both of them are working hard. Both of them are contributing to the bills. Both of them are contributing to the house. One's taking care of this bill, another's taking care of another. Then alhamdulillah for the woman who does that, right? Because there's a necessity for a lot of people nowadays to have both people working. It's hard to make it out there on one salary. But I think it's important to remember that when a woman does that, it is out of her generosity. It is out of her desire to help build a quality life or more comfortable life for her children and for her and her husband. But that Islamically, the responsibility is still on the shoulders of the man. And so your husband has a very long history, according to your description, of taking money and borrowing money from people and then not paying it back, of lying and denying that he owes anyone anything. And at this point, he's cursing people out. He's telling you to call the police on people that show up at his door, or your door rather, that saying that he owes them money. Things are really spiraling out of control, I think, for quite some time. I think from this point forward, my honest advice is you need to stop giving him money. You should pay for whatever is necessary for you and your kids to be taken care of. So the electricity or the water, right? Food and groceries, whatever is within your capability, you continue to do that, because otherwise your quality of life or the quality of life for your children will be severely impacted. But I would advise you at this point, do not give him any more money. He may swear at you, he may curse at you, he might threaten you. And if he does those things and you feel for any moment in time that you are not safe, that's where you actually need to call and involve authorities. That's where you need to get some special help. And I'm sorry that, I have to say this, but I think there's a part of you that understands that this is the reality. This is where the relationship is at by his own choices. He has a problem with money, whether he's gambling that money away, whether he's trying to make quick money off of really bad business investments, whether he's lying to people and taking money and doing haram things with it. I don't know. But what I do know is that the more you give him money, the more you are enabling him to continue this behavior, and a behavior that impacts not just you and your kids, but is actually oppressing other people because he's not able to pay them back. He is not going to like you giving him boundaries. But from this point forward, this is a man who needs boundaries. The only thing that is going to help him turn around is going to be the natural consequences that come from his choices. So if you loan him $500 and he wants to spend $200 of that on a brand new coat, right? I mean, that's a little much, right? Out of all the money that you're giving him, and he's not providing for anything else. He sounds like someone who doesn't know how to place boundaries on his needs, and he's thinking of himself, and he's not thinking of you or his kids or the community that he's impacting. Unfortunately, natural consequences are usually one of the only ways to help someone turn around. And so you need to stop giving him money. You need to stop enabling him. You work hard every day for that. You need to keep it in a separate bank account that he cannot access. And again, if at any point in time you feel that he's going to threaten you as a result of that, or if you're afraid that by saying that to him from now would put you in a dangerous situation, then I think it's time that we have a conversation about you involving some outside intervention within your relationship. If you need to talk to somebody that you feel like can give fatwas and things like that, because that's not me, then, talk to a local sheikha or talk to your local sheikh, find a religious leader within the community you reside in, let them know what is going on so that you have someone else that can also tell you, hey, listen, you do not have to give him money. That's Islamically what he's doing also to other people is wrong. And then you have a person to send him to. Listen, you need to go talk to Imam so-and-so about this. I've made a decision. The rest of the money I'm saving for our kids' future, or, whatever it is that you say you want to do with it. And I'm not going to share it with you anymore further. I want you to get a job and I want you to do things right. If he has this much time and energy to fly back and forth between countries and talk to people and do all this stuff, then he has the energy and capability to go get a job, to work hard, to earn money, and to do it in an honest way and to take care of his family. And it's time that somebody tells him he needs to do so. People are intimidated by him because of his character, because of his behavior, because he curses and swears. He does all of those things to try to avoid, again, consequences, to try to save face, to try to not be impacted by what he's doing. There's got to be somebody that looks him straight in the eye and says enough is enough. And it might need to come from another man in the community that says the community is not going to let you borrow money any further, and basically puts an end to that. I don't know. I am really sorry that you're in this situation. Don't blame yourself that after, your previous marriage didn't go well, that you found somebody else, you thought they were good, and this is where you're at. It's not your fault. When you choose someone for marriage, you do the best you can with the information you have at the time, with the person that you are at that time. You can't look back and blame yourself and say, oh, this is all your fault. All of us are responsible in our lives for making choices that we look back on them and we question our choices and we wonder if we did things right, or we learn something later in life that helps us reevaluate life and think maybe I would have done it differently. But you know what? What happened was meant to happen, because if it wasn't meant to happen, it wouldn't have happened. That's the qadr of Allah, right? Nothing will miss you if it's meant for you, and nothing will come for you if it's not meant for you. So what you are going through is a test from Allah, and it's happening to you for a specific reason. You're in this situation to learn something. You're in this situation to grow. You're in this situation because spiritually there is a test for you, but also a reward for you if you can pass through this test gracefully. But you've got to figure out what it is you need to learn. And that first step is going to be honoring yourself and taking care of yourself. If your other son that is not biologically related to your current husband can't stand being around your husband, can't stand being around his stepdad, doesn't feel good in his home, you need to take care of that son. You need to protect your son. You need to give him a home where he feels loved and cherished and safe. That is his right. And he should not be in a home environment where he feels like this. So I would encourage you actually to take you and your kids and yourself and get some counseling and have a safe place to start talking about what's going on. Because you are role modeling to your son as well, as long as you're in this situation. And again, I'm not blaming you. I'm asking you to rise up to the responsibility that is in front of you. You have two beautiful sons that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted you, and they're looking to you as their mother to do the right thing, to tell them what life should look like, what marriage should look like. I want you to rise to that challenge. You are a powerful woman. You are a capable woman. You can take care of this situation, but it is not going to be easy, and it's not going to be without difficulty. So again, if you are afraid in any way of standing up to your husband, please start talking to somebody now. Please get counseling now. Please talk to your local imam if that's the person that could reach out to him. Talk to your family. Do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. And I hope that in time that there will be a consequence that helps your husband realize what he's doing is wrong. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to support you and help you. Assalamu alaikum.